Greetings all. Reflecting on your week 10 conversation, above all, I noticed what a great job you were doing of using the case conference to explore your own insights related to your own experience, your own skill sets, and your own comfort levels. That was quite impressive. With regard to assessment, you discussed several key themes. Jennifer points out the importance of assessing the whole ecosystem. And Michelle notes the importance of recognizing the complexity of the whole context. As you say, both culture and religion can be a protective factor, and they can also act as hindrance depending on how Piper views both these elements. For example, from a religious view, leaving your husband may be frowned on, and being a submissive wife may be expected. But religion and church can be viewed as a safe haven in people who provide support for Piper. As for culture, for Piper, it may be something that empowers her, but for Jack, it may be a source of contention because it does empower Piper. It was very apt description of the complexity of the ecosystemic context. Ryan brings our attention to the importance of recognizing historical trauma, particularly with regard to the relationship between the tribe and CWS. You all discussed very clearly the relevance of the extended family and the community related to perspectives on domestic violence, related to resources, and you also discussed the importance of assessing family roles. For example, Angie wonders whether Carrie is acting as mom's protector. You discussed very well the dynamics of domestic violence, particularly the real costs of telling the truth and or of leaving a relationship. For example, retribution from Jack or CPS taking the kids, or the family being shunned by the community, or Piper being left without financial support, among many others. You discussed mindful practice related to your own biases and judgments. As Anthony points out, I have a personal theory that biases are shortcuts our brain takes in an effort to save time and effort. Jennifer points to the importance of suspending judgment and recognizing strengths of Dad in particular in this case. And you discuss the fact that crisis is also opportunity. Families do tend to change when there's no alternative. As William puts it, this case study makes it feel like the family is coming to a crossroads of sorts because the father's behavior is causing him to not be able to attend games. The daughter might be delayed in starting school due to lack of potty training. The teacher reports bruising on the son's body. Law enforcement has been called to the family house, and mother has been told she must see a therapist. So, as William points out, there is opportunity for growth here, and that opportunity can also be hampered by denial of the problems. With regard to intervention, you had lively discussion about who to meet with, and you had very differing perspectives here. Um, Anthony points out the importance of working with the tribal liaison. Sarah talks about the importance of involving the ICWA worker. It may be also that the best opportunity would be to partner with a community elder or with the pastor. Indeed, the Brandel text, as you say, does indicate that disclosing abuse in family sessions where the abuser is present sometimes leads to less risk of continued violence. Of course, that is not always the case. William underscores the importance of being careful not to do that if abuse is actively going on. Dalen describes how powerful family secrets can be in maintaining dysfunction. With regard to that point, meeting with the family altogether may result in family members not talking if Jack is present. And if Jack is present, it also may reinforce the power and control imbalance that's silencing Mom and Carrie in the first place. And as Lisa points out, having a safety plan is prerequisite to bringing everyone together. On the other hand, Shayla points out that you should meet with whoever you can meet with as soon as possible. All of these perspectives are important to consider. It's also important to rule out medical issues, for example, related to Carrie's incontinence or Jenny's possible addiction or Jack's possible addiction. Jenny points out the importance of ruling out addiction. You discussed well the importance of safety first. And as you point out, safety is prerequisite to any change in family dynamics. Jennifer described the possible safety plan for Jack. And Dalen, on the other hand, describes how you might create a secret safety plan for Mom and the kids. There was a lot of discussion about wraparound and team meetings, and the importance of understanding individual issues, particularly with Jack underlying possible, just exploring possible underlying issues. Ryan suggests capitalizing on Jack's interest in sports and teamwork, and Sayana suggests motivational interviewing for Jack. You discussed Piper, the importance of Piper talking about identifying significant supportive relationships and fostering those. And Lisa presents the idea of a narrative or solution-focused approach, including perhaps Jack and Piper's falling in love story, both talking about better economic times to highlight that things can look different when that source of stress is not there. There are a couple of challenges that I want to invite you to reflect on. Family process is very powerful, and and it is often the case that, particularly with new workers, that the family process can overwhelm the worker. And you can see how this could be the case with this family, with its dynamics. As you point out, secrecy is very powerful and also very toxic. And the power differential does have to be addressed. So the authors have presented a very thought-provoking and complex case here, and you all have done a beautiful job of exploring different aspects of the case with regard to assessment and ideas for intervention. So yet another very rich case conference.